Buenas and half a day. My name is Damon Michael from PNC, and I am here with Nonito, also known as Nito Blas Jr., a candidate for the Consolidated Commissions on Utility, or the CCU. How are you doing today, sir?
Doing good, Damon.
That's good. So let's go ahead and just get right into it. I just want to know who are you, and basically, can you just tell us about yourself?
Damon, I was born here in Guam, from the village of Manilo. I graduated from Father Duenas in 1981, and then right after high school, I joined the service, the Navy. I did 38 years, so I'm a Navy veteran, and I'm glad to be back on the island. I've been back on the island for about 2 years.
So can you just give us a little brief history of what you did in the Navy, maybe?
Again, 38 years. I was a nuclear trained. Both enlisted and officer. I spent 10 years as enlisted, worked myself up, earned my commission, and then I did the next 28 years as a naval officer, and I was able to retire as a captain in the United States Navy, which is equivalent to an Army or Marine Corps full bird colonel.
Ooh, that's a lot.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and just get into this. So can you tell us a little bit of why you are running for a candidate on the CCU?
Well, I'm running for the CCU because, it's a call to duty. I spent, like I said, 38 years defending and supporting the Constitution of the United States. And then I decided I got to come back to Guam. I came back to Guam for two reasons. Number one, to take care of my mom and dad, and my family, very important to me. And number two, to come back and help the people of Guam. So I was figuring out what can I do to help the people of Guam. And I think with my 38 years experience, my work skills that I earned and learned in the Navy fits perfectly into the CCU. And I think those skills and experiences, I can make an excellent board member for the CCU.
Okay, so
that's why I'm running.
So how about this? Because not a lot of people understand what the CCU does or what they actually do here on Guam. Can you give us a little brief understanding to the audience? What is the CCU?
The Consolidated Commission on Utility is made up of 5 board members, all elected. So this election cycle, there's 3 seats, 6 people running for 3 seats. The CCU provides oversight for the Guam Power Authority and Guam Water Works. The general managers report to the CCU, and we pretty much make the policies for both the Guam Power Authority and the Guam Water Works.
Okay, cool. So give us, how about we already just get into it? What is your current platform? How are you looking to prioritize being a member of the CCU?
Good, excellent question. So as soon as I get into the CCU, number one, I know everybody talks about rate increases, Wise Power going up, Wise Water going up. Now, unfortunately for us here on the island of Guam, we can't control the price of fuel. That's controlled by the market. So right now there's more of a demand for fuel. So therefore the prices go up. But what we can, and this is what I intend to do when I get into the CCU, is look at what we can do internally. So number one, be more efficient an authority, both in the water and the power side. Efficient meaning efficient in how we borrow money, efficient in how we operate, efficient in how we do our accounting. So that's number one, be more efficient. Number two, transparency, manage both activities with more transparency. Because we are operating or serving the people of Guam. Number three has to do with our employees. Again, as I learned in the Navy, the most important part of any ship, any command is your people. And to take care of your people, number one, you want to ensure employee wholeness, welfare. Number two, you want to hear their voice. So I'm going to be the advocate for the employees as well as the rest of the people of Guam. And number three, listen to our employees. And that's what I intend to do when I get into the CCU.
So this is your first time running for CCU, correct?
Actually, it's my second time.
Second time,
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So with your candidacy and you running, how do you feel or what do you feel you can bring to the CCU that may be different to what its current standings are?
Well, what I can bring is my 38 years in nuclear power. As a naval enlisted, a Navy officer, I dealt 38 with nuclear propulsion plants. So as a nuclear propulsion plant operator, I supervise, I operated, I repaired, I maintained nuclear propulsion plants, which includes propulsion pushing the ship through the water, including generating electricity, including generating water. So those experiences, and I know what a good utility looks like. So that's what I'll bring to the CCU, what a good utility, water or power, looks like to the board and to the people of Guam.
Okay, cool. So I do have a few questions in regards to the CCU that I want to maybe to ask you to see if you could share a little insight on.
Okay.
So the first question I have is, if you are running as you are running for the CCU, how will you work to decrease power rates on Guam?
Like I said earlier, you know, a big portion of your power bill is the fuel charge. You know, unfortunately, the price of fuel is not controlled by us on the island. Just like I said before, it's controlled by the market globally. So again, we got to look inside. We got to look at what we can do to operate more efficiently. Can we operate, look at our employers, look at our manning, see if we're operating at the most efficient organization, minimize the overhead. Let's get to talk about operations. We got to be efficient in more operations. So we got to get rid of those base load generators. They're not efficient. One way would be to, and I think the GPA is going in the right direction. They are going to bring in base load generators that operate both on fuel and liquefied natural gas. Both fossil fuel. So the goal is to get off fossil fuel. But LNG, as they call it, burns better. It's better for the environment, and it's much cheaper. So to lower the rate, we got to lower the rate at which we're using fuel. So to lower the rate at which we're using fuel, you go to like liquefied natural gas for our baseload generators. Go more renewables. You know, use the sun. The more and more we use of the sun, the less and less of fuel we got to use, and then rates go down. So we got to push. I think the goal, as I learned from Guam Power Authority and the CCU, is to be 100% on renewable by 2045.
Yes.
2045, and then by 2035, be at 50% renewable. So what do we got to do to get to 50% renewables? Well, we got to put up more solar panels. Guam's so small, we're limited by land mass. We're going to pretty soon run out of land. So I would propose that we put more solar panels on rooftops. We encourage more citizens. Do you have solar power? I don't think you have solar powers on your house?
We do have like solar power lights, but at the moment not like an actual generator type of solar power.
Right. So I would work with the Guam Power Office, Energy Office, and incentivize to the public to put solar panels on their roofs. I would definitely go after the government of Guam. Every government of Guam building should have solar panels on top of their roof. You ever look over Harmon?
Yes.
From the airport, you see all those roofs? All those roofs should have solar panel on top. And so it's up to us as the government. Not everybody can afford solar power, but we can make it affordable to those folks who can't afford solar panels. And if they get solar panels, their power bills will start going down. So again, renewables. And then we got to explore other methods of renewables, like wind. I don't know. I know you have that windmill
turbines, yes.
Down south. I hardly see that ever rotating. So I don't even know if it's making any more electricity. I know the Navy's looking at the hydropower, you know, putting a water turbine in the ocean, and letting the ocean currents. What about waste energy? We used to have an incinerator on the island, would burn trash, that would produce energy. That would be another source of energy. Because pretty soon, you know, the landfill down south?
Yes.
That's going to fill.
Of course.
And I know, what village are you from?
I currently reside in Jigo.
Jigo? Well, we can't put the dump up there. But at some point, we're going to have to go look at another location. And nobody wants to dump in their backyard. So, two things we can do. We can minimize the amount of waste going into dumps, and we can make more energy, not using fuel, by burning our trash. I know there's some pros and cons about that. But again, as a CCU board member, I would look into, hey, let's go look at waste energy again. Let's put more solar panels out there. All again, in an effort to reduce the use of fossil fuel. And that'll lower our rates. So until we get there, until we get the 100% renewable, until we get to the point where we're not using as much fuel, our rates are probably going to continue going up. So we'll need the public's input, and that's where the CCU, I think, as a CCU board member, we need to get outreach more. Like for example, I think maybe with shortly after taking into the CCUO board, I'll say, hey, we need to go out and tell the island where we're reaching 50% in 2035, and what help do we GPA CCU need help with in getting to 50% from the general public. And the last part of this, using less energy, is teach the general public how to use less energy. You know, energy efficient appliances, more solar panels, things like that.
Yeah.
Electric cars.
Bring
Back more electric. I went to the electric car exhibit at GPA, and you know what? I think we only have like 4 electric cars on the island, maybe 5.
A couple I know of, for
Right?
sure. Yeah.
Yeah, so we need to encourage more electric cars, and then we need to put, I think there's only 4 places where you can plug in,
Yeah.
right? I think 3 or 4.
Something like that.
Yeah,
yes.
so we got to get more places where people can plug in their electric vehicle.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
So last question, or like one of the last questions I have for you is, why should the people of Guam vote for you?
Again, vote for me. It's a call of duty. Again, like I said, I came back for the island 2 things. Take care of my parents and help the people of Guam. And the best way I think I can help the people of Guam is to be part of the CCU. I'll take my 38 years of nuclear power background, make the CCU board more effective. And that's why I asked that you vote for me for the CCU.
Awesome. Thank you again, Nito, for being able to come and join us for this episode of Coffee with the Candidates.
My pleasure, my pleasure.
Awesome. Well,
All right.
thank you very much for watching, and stay tuned for the next episode.